Across the globe, even the remotest tribes have been found to gamble.
We're all descended from the humans who took risks and won and went on to populate the world.
Wildcraft 260.
Hey!
We've seen an extraordinary range of instincts that humans possess to help us survive. From a baby's inborn ability to reject potentially harmful food, or a split-second response when faced with danger, to the huge risks we'll take when confronted by desperate situations. But the story of survival doesn't end there.
From the moment we're born, our personal survival is paramount, and our instincts are there to protect us. But one thing can change all that: becoming a parent.
In a small fishing town in Maine, the sacrifice one father made to survive so that he could see his 3 daughters grow up is almost beyond our imagination. Doug Goodale is a lobster fisherman who did the extraordinary to survive.
I get up early in the morning, about 2:30, and I baited the boat up, filled it up, and I headed out to the jetties here. It was a little snarly, but I've hauled in storms before, and just pay attention, take your time, you'll be all right.
The stormy weather and heavy seas were tossing the boat around, and it was a struggle to keep control. But Doug kept working and turned on the heavy-duty winch to pull in his lobster traps.
The boat went up, it came down, at the same time it grabbed the sleeve off of my jacket, and that pulled my hand into the winch. The rope was starting to cut through my hand, and then when my wrist started to go around the winch, I realized, no, not good. The more I pulled back, the stronger the motor got, until I got up to about my elbow, and my arm was wrapped around the winch, and it was too much for me to hold, and it threw me overboard. And that's when I really got scared. There's nobody out here, no help, can't reach a radio, can't shut the motor off. Bad sea, you're gonna die.
At that moment, alone at sea, Doug thought of his 3 daughters.
I don't know how to explain it to people. I swear, climbing onto the boat was my 3 girls, you know, looking at me.
With a superhuman effort that dislocated his shoulder, he pulled himself back on board. But his arm was still trapped in the winch.
About that time, you could really feel like, wow, you know, you're not really gonna, you know, make it.
Losing blood fast, Doug decided to act. Thinking of his children, he reached for his knife and freed himself from the winch by cutting off his right arm.
Took my knife, went down the side of the winch till my arm was freed, dropped to the deck, reached in, shut it off, and says, okay, time, I gotta get home. I'm gonna bleed to death.
Steering his boat with just one arm and in rough seas, Doug struggled to reach the harbor.
Bleeding, I'm hurting, I don't want to pass out, and I'm afraid that God's going to drown me now. After all this, you know, don't drown me now, just let me in here.
Finally, Doug maneuvered the boat back to safety. Doug believes that it was his determination to see his children grow up that gave him his motivation to survive.
Well, I really feel that trading an arm for my life was a real fair swap. I mean, I get to be there for my kids. My 6-year-old told me, Daddy, you know, it doesn't really matter that you got one arm as long as you're here. Now, if you heard that from your own kids, wouldn't you take a knife and do the same thing if you had to?
What Doug did that day was astonishing, but a parent's instinct to be there for their children makes good evolutionary sense. Children guarantee the future of our species, and one of the most useful gifts we give our children happens without our even realizing, because we pass all our vital instincts on, so every single one of us is in a position to survive the rigors of life on instinct.